I think that on the one hand, the customers want AI. Organizations understand they have no other choice, like cloud a few years ago, but they need to have AI. But on the other hand, they are terrified from AI, terrified from the trust perspective that you just mentioned, that a machine will take some decision for them. Terrified from the fact that maybe for some of the employees it will replace me in my job. There are a lot of anxiety around AI, and when I'm looking at what we are doing in priority, we're talking about the assistant, the one that everybody is much familiar and feel comfortable with it because it's like the ChatGPTs and all it. I can control what is going on there. It's just like a user experience, less UI, more AI. Just talk with the system in your NLP and it will work for you. So you don't need to navigate into that complex ERP, and you don't have to learn the UI, and you don't have to remember where to do, what to do, how to do. You just need to go to that chat and ask the system to work for you like the chat ERP. And I think that's the more thing that our customers adopt. When it comes to the advisor part, you must keep the human in the loop, as you already said, because they do not trust, and they're right, they should not trust the machine for taking decisions for them. They need some recommendations or insight, or we're talking now about descriptive analytics. The AI can take all those reports from the ERP and just describe it with words or with chart, but then you can control and review and decide what to do with it. So it's like an assistant, and the advisor part must keep the human in the loop.
Yeah, that's well said. And I want to actually build on something you just said, Karen, and pull in a couple comments here from the audience. And I'm going to ask you a question related to this, Scott, more from I guess, a customer perspective, an ERP customer perspective. But the two comments I want to get to, Chris on LinkedIn says companies and users of ERP systems are trying to understand that AI is good. They know they can make use of it, but they need some guidance on where they're really going to add value from their current system. So that's one comment. And then the follow-up here, the other comment I want to get to is from Carrie on LinkedIn. Carrie says, I think customers want also from vendors on AI as the real conversation and lessons learned on data needing to be clean and managing organizational change management. There's leadership and communications to calm those who think their job will be replaced by it. So I guess I want to shift to you, Scott, and sort of get that customer perspective, because you guys as analysts, you work with tons of different customers that are thinking about AI, they're thinking about cloud, they're thinking about all kinds of stuff related to enterprise technology. But how do you see customers adapting? I mean, what's your view from the front line of how customers are actually adapting or responding to AI?
Yeah, I think there's a few points to make on this one. Here, one that probably is not really thought about or talked about a whole lot is the whole contractual aspect of AI. And as vendors, you're layering in, maybe on an ERP, from an ERP perspective, these features just show up one day. Other times I have to elect to go out and buy a solution, a point-to-point solution, or maybe I'm building my own model and building my own solution. Either way, no matter what, my colleague Phil Bodie, a principal research director here, we've got a pretty extensive vendor insight note coming out around these contractual aspects that you have to consider. How do you get organized around your organization just to think about AI, and what are the risks and risk levels that you're willing to take on across different domain functions, across different legal functions, liability functions? What happens? I read some terms from a vendor the other day for their chatbot that says, hey, if you upload anything that results in a claim on us from a third party around any type of infringement, you will indemnify us completely. That's just for the claim, right? That doesn't even mean anything was proven. So now how do I go out with a company of 10,000 people and make sure that all of them are not able to put in some type of infringing content into this Gen AI interface that automatically puts the company at a point of liability, right? So there's 3 dozen examples like that. So if you're not looking at contracts, if you're not talking to people that are going to start informing you of the questions you should be asking yourselves and your colleagues, and really examining within your industry and the questions to be asking your vendors, that's one point. Looking at things more from a functionality perspective, which I think where this was kind of coming from initially, I think we are definitely seeing that, we know most organizations are struggling with data governance, data management, data quality. That is a core requirement for any AI solution to have a chance to give you accurate results on a regular and reliable basis. That is going to require organizational change management.